cruising down the street in my 6'4".
How low can you go? Death row.
Just like that, somebody turned off the rain and the sun come out.
I'm your huckleberry.
Hey everybody, you don't know me, but I'm on TV, so you can trust me. Welcome to the This is Tampa podcast with...
I'm Rob.
And I'm Jen, and today we are here at the Fat Rabbit Pub here in New Tampa, and we are with Beach and Cole. Thank you guys so much for being here today.
Thanks for having us. Pleasure.
Yes. So tell us a little bit about your roles here at the Fat Rabbit Pub.
So I'm a bartender, a manager, and now brewer, as we've launched our nano brewery here for Fat Rabbit.
Wow, you've got a lot of jobs.
It's fun.
Jack of all trades. And what about you, Cole?
Well, I'm the executive chef. I do the menus, I create all the sauces, day-to-day operations in the kitchen, running it, and stuff like that, and coming up with new items, new things for everybody to try out, and working on new menus. So
That's awesome.
You came up with the awesome chicken wings,
yes.
right? There are a couple like unique ones on there, like the Fat Rabbit, I guess would be the house special one, and there's I wish I had the menu in front of me, but what's some of the other ones that
So the Fat Rabbit was actually a messed up sauce on my part.
Oh,
so I was
really?
making one of our old sauces we used to have, put too much cilantro in it, came out actually really good. So I'm like, all right, I'm gonna play around with this, start doing different stuff. Then next thing you know, it's a big hit. We made it a house sauce, and it's been a seller since. But like some of our basic ones, like our Daytona, people love the Daytona. It's a sweet and spicy barbecue that gets charred on the grill. And another top seller is our Buffalo Garlic Ranch. I mean, you really can't go wrong with Buffalo Ranch and garlic
I
on
think
chicken
all
wings.
three of those are my favorites.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah.
I mean, those definitely are our top 3 sellers. So
Wow.
That's good. Yeah, and the Daytona ones, I guess, were inspired from like what they do in Daytona. They do that same type of thing. Where they fry it, then grill it.
yeah, it was definitely one of the ones like I played around with years, and finally I was able to come up with my own barbecue sauce. Then for the spice level, I threw in a little bit of the Hellfire mix into it to give it that nice little heat to it.
That's cool.
But then the caramelization on the wings as well really puts it over, because the wings are double fried. Then you throw them right onto the grill, and it's just give it a great flavor.
Yeah.
So
I agree.
Sounds delicious.
Sticky and yummy.
And crunchy. Well, tell us a little bit about the history of the Fat Rabbit Pub. How did it get here?
Yeah, why New Tampa?
Yeah.
Well, we have 2 owners, Sean and John. They lived in the area. They worked together for a long period of time, and they just got tired of the chain restaurant kind of thing. You know, mediocre food, mediocre service. It's just not worth going out and spending your money on it. And they had joked around about opening a place, and finally their wife said, you know, if you guys are gonna keep saying, why don't you do it? Just go do it. So they went out the next day, started a bank account, and started all this stuff to get the business.
Next
get
day,
going.
huh?
Yeah, they were eager.
I like the way they move. Yeah, that's what I say. Don't talk about it, do it.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so it was just being here in New Tampa on Bruce B. Adams. There's just chain restaurant chains. They're like, and they have no restaurant experience per se. I mean, I think Sean worked at a Chili's with years like in college.
back in the 80s.
Yeah.
There's your experience.
But you know, from not really having a food services background or a bar background, they did a pretty kick-ass job.
Yeah, and there's really no like. I mean, there's neighborhood bars. You know, you got Linksters down the road, but they don't serve food.
No, and it's a smoking bar, so
It's smoky, and there's Peabody's. That's a kind of a different scene too. There was nothing like this, so I think the timing and the need was
it
perfect.
fit a gap in the community where people wanted to go to. It was something that people actually wanted.
Right.
Yeah, they did a lot of traveling. They've been in different bars, so they took like little things from each place, like, oh, we like this, and they started doing their own little mix. Like we have wood up underneath our bar that's actually from a hotel back in the 40s in Tampa.
Wow.
Oh,
It's
wow.
like reclaimed wood. Same thing with the wood that right here. It's all
on that
reclaimed
wall
wood.
in the hallway.
That is so
I think it was from
cool.
I cannot remember the name of the hotel, but it was back in the 40s.
Wow.
So like,
And like Ybor or something? Or
yeah, it's somewhere down that area. Yeah.
that is
So it's all
so
reclaimed wood
cool.
there. They love the whole brick pattern because it gives that comfortable vibe. Like you're sitting in a place where you're like, oh, I can be comfortable here. I don't got to worry about nobody hanging all over me and stuff like that.
Right.
So they literally designed, like they did the interior design for this.
Oh yeah. We didn't hire a design firm or anything.
Oh.
They did everything.
Yeah, it's very well done.
Yeah,
It is.
they had the contractor in here. Obviously, got to have it. But outside that, like they were in here laying bricks, the tile in the bathrooms, the ceilings, and all that. They did all that.
That's incredible.
Then once I left my job out before I came here, like then I started helping to put the tile in the bathroom on the walls and all
oh
that.
my
So
God.
yeah, it was all hands on deck for about a year.
Yeah, it sounds like a labor of love.
Yes.
And I see actually behind you is the building plans, it looks like,
Yes.
for the restaurant. Oh, that's so cool.
Then right
Oh my
above
gosh.
y'all is John and Sean. Those are their grandparents and dads that owned bars back in the 40s, 60s, and all that.
Oh my God. What a story.
And
It
they
was
got
meant
the
to be.
Yes.
blueprints for the drinks as well.
Yeah,
behind
yeah.
you.
Oh, I
Probably
love
gonna
that.
be reflected on the. You're not gonna be able to tell on the camera, but
Yeah.
you know, I'll shoot some video in here.
Yeah.
Also, your beer selection, like having like a lot of local craft beers and stuff, I think was very smart.
Yeah,
Obviously.
when we first opened, we had I think 8 of the taps were rotationals. We had 20 taps originally, and now, I mean, it's other than like Bud Light, Yingling, Miller Lite, Coors, like those couple small, the basic domestics. All of our taps are rotational. We try to do as much local as possible. I mean, we get stuff from other states, obviously.
Yeah.
There's so many killer beers out there.
I think I had one called like Peanut Butter and Jesus or something like that.
Sweet Baby Jesus.
Sweet Baby
from
Jesus,
DuPont
yeah.
in Baltimore.
Yeah, the peanut butter
So
stout.
cool.
Yeah, that was pretty good. But yeah, you got like a lot of different ones every time I come in. I get to try something new. And who's the artist? I wanted to ask this since like for a while. Like the menu board.
Oh, that would be our bar manager, Allie's husband, Tim.
No.
He also
really?
works there.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. I love
Did you
that.
see it? I mean,
Yes,
it's all
beautiful.
chalkboard and it's
Yeah.
and you can tell
They've got
like
a cutout of the rabbit.
at first I thought it was production, like it was printed
Yeah.
because it was like so perfect. They looked just like each other, but then you could see little differences, little
Yeah.
nuances.
He's the third chalkboard artist we've had.
Wow.
Yeah, he's third one. Hands down the best one. Like he's
Wow.
brought some of the boards in for like certain breweries and that I know,
Yeah.
like breweries I love. I'm like, did he draw that? Because that's like exactly the logo. That is like spot on, perfect.
Right, that's
Oh my
crazy.
God.
So
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Even the fish and everything, just trying to match them up and between both sides and that's
yeah, he's got his work cut out on that too, because we go through a lot of beer here.
Wow.
And like it changes. Like we
Oh, he
change
does
it.
them for each beer?
Yeah. So that's individual beers on tap.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's so
He's
cool.
actually probably gonna be here in the next 20 minutes, and he's probably gonna have another stack of boards
Oh
coming
my
in.
God. Oh, we'll have
So-
to take if we can, a little video of that or something.
Yeah,
That'd be
we'll
cool
switch
to
out. We'll
see.
put her and him in. They
Yeah,
can.
Oh,
perfect.
so he does them at home and then you hang
Yeah.
them?
Yeah, I
Okay,
mean,
I thought he was like up there on a ladder.
Oh my God.
No.
He's got a workshop
I've seen him
in
doing
back.
some here. Like if he had free time, he'll do them here, and I'm like just watching him. Like, how do you do that?
That's amazing.
Yeah,
Oh my
that's
God.
cool.
So tell me what goes into I know creating a menu is a huge thing, especially for a brand new concept in a land full of franchises. How did you plan the menu so you could differentiate yourself?
Well, it was funny. So when they first started this, like we were supposed to be a bar, very small menu, burgers, wings, hot dogs, a few salads. Then it was just more of a high demand. People was like, oh, I want this, I want that. So we just started playing around with other items and stuff like that. And then 3 years later, I mean, we're pretty successful at what we do, but it goes into a lot of testing. It's like I have 2 meetings in the next couple of weeks. One, I'm going up to Orlando to try out some aged ribeyes I'm going to do for a Valentine's special here. Then the following week, I'm going to be down south at the warehouse trying out a bunch of like gamey meats.
Ooh.
Because one of the new menus, we're going to do a burger of the month. And the burger of the month, it's going to be a different style meat: lamb, bison, ostrich, venison. So it's going to be every different type of burger. So we're going to have our standard Angus for our regular burgers. Then for our specials, it's going to be a different kind of meat.
Type of meat.
So
Oh my
it's like,
gosh.
it's a lot of testings.
Yeah.
So,
Well, that must be fun.
So you
right?
I know you get to eat a lot of food.
yeah, I just tested out the other day pork belly.
Ooh.
So I did some little pork belly ribs yesterday here.
I missed that.
Really rich.
I actually still have some left, so.
Okay.
Then past week, the guy brought me in a whole pork loin. I did some fillets out of that. Then he showed me how to like unroll it to where it's flat. Then I stuffed it and rolled it into a pinwheel.
Oh my God.
So like, guys always coming in, it's like, oh, try this. So it's a lot goes into it, but it's also it's like you got to look at the area, like what's good in the area, what's big in the area, what people want to look for and stuff like that, because you don't want to end up like chain restaurants and
Yeah.
then you got the same stuff. So we
Right.
do stuff different compared to what the next restaurant down the street does for us.
Right.
But and it's I don't know. The new menu in March when it drops should like definitely elevate us over other restaurants around this area.
Yeah.
Because we definitely stepped it up a notch with a lot of the items.
Wow.
So-
So when is that menu supposed to come out?
We're hoping by March because the owners want the Irish burger back.
Oh.
So the Irish
burger.
So the Irish burger I did a couple years ago for the month of March. It was a corned beef, Angus beef with a Jameson bacon jam, Swiss arugula.
So good.
So they want it back, but this time I'm gonna do a little bit different. I'm gonna do a Kobe beef
Ooh.
with the corned beef, Swiss cheese, the arugula, the bacon jam.
Oh my god.
So that's gonna be the burger of the month for March. So I'm almost positive by March it's gonna be ready to go.
Yeah.
But like one of the items we have now is a grilled cheese. People's like, oh, it's okay, it's not great. So the one
Yeah.
thing we did decide to elevate is we took sourdough bread. We're gonna hit it with a garlic butter spread. We're gonna do a smoked Gruyere and an aged cheddar with it to really just take it from just a basic grilled cheese to people like, oh, I want that when I come in next.
Yeah.
So,
That
and
sounds so good.
we're gonna do it like adult style BLT. Same process, sourdough bread with the garlic butter spread. Then the Southwest strip salad we're updating to more of a true Southwest feel.
Yeah.
So you got torch strips, a black bean corn salsa, a nice little vinaigrette to go with it. So
Yum. That sounds amazing.
and those are just some of the items that we already have that we just elevated, but we're adding other stuff on. Like we're doing a citrus marinated chicken now. We're gonna do it in a dry white wine.
Ooh, that sounds
We're adding
delicious.
pretzels and bratwurst on.
Oh my god, I'm just gonna come here
Well,
every
their
day.
pretzels. Have you had their pretzels? Their pretzels are like
No.
this big.
Are
They're
they?
It's a
humongous.
10-ounce pretzel that we do with a smoked Gouda Guinness beer cheese.
Oh my
good.
god.
It's good.
So-
beer
I always
cheese
get
is
that, and I
awesome,
get like
awesome.
some of the different wings.
Yeah. But yeah, like we got a couple new sauces coming out. We got a spicy bourbon barbecue coming out, and we're gonna do a Nashville style sauce. So we're gonna have a Nashville chicken, and we're gonna have a Nashville chicken tender platter.
I think
Yeah.
Nashville chicken is kind of trending right now.
And that's why we're going that route because like everybody loves it. And around this area, nobody does it. The only place that does it around here is the King of the Coop out in Seminole,
Okay.
South Table,
That's
wherever
not
that's
far.
at. Yeah. So I'm cornered for this area right now. So.
Yeah, you're good. I don't think you're gonna have much
I would say like it's pretty fair to say that it's a elevated or gourmet pub food. It's not your normal pub food. It's very elevated. I like to think of it on the lines of like Cinebistro. Like that kind of food, you know, where it's little, it's more gourmet, it's handheld, but it's also easy, easy for everyone.
Yeah, that was one thing when they came and approached me about being their chef here and doing the menu and stuff like that. The one thing I told them was like, I really didn't want a freezer. If I was gonna have one, it's gonna be a small one. What I have in there is tater tots, ice cream, corn kernels, but I mean outside of that, like nothing's frozen. Everything comes in fresh.
Yeah, it's
Burgers grass-fed,
tell.
chickens are free-range chicken, no hormones or anything like that.
Wow.
Pork's fresh. The skirt steak I bring in is grass-fed, and all the sauces I do in-house. I have 8 wing sauces plus the dressings and all that stuff I make in-house.
Oh my god.
I wanted that feel where people came in here, they're getting fresh food.
Yeah.
And we see it in the reviews. Like when people leave a review, they're like, "This is not your ordinary pub. This is like more of a like up-to-date to pub food because it's fresh,
Yeah.
and people can tell the difference on that."
and
Yeah, normal bar food comes in bags from a freezer, and it's just totally opposite of what we are. And like I see it firsthand, working the bar.
Yeah.
Like people take that food, like it's a first-time customer. They take the first bite of their burger, and they're just like,
Aww.
"Oh my god, this is so good!" And I'm like, "I know." And they're like, "How?" And I'm like, "Well," so I just tell them, basically what he just said.
Yeah.
We don't have frozen food. His recipes, I mean, he's amazing at what he does.
Right.
And then you put consistently fresh food on top of that altogether, you're gonna have, a food item that's light years above anybody else or ahead of
Yeah.
anybody else because it's fresh.
For sure.
And it's like home cooking. You got fresh food cooked to order every time. It's like,
And honestly, like demographically in the area, that's what you kind of need to do. You got a different kind of consumer coming out of Tampa Ponds,
Yeah.
New Tampa, where they expect like an elevated. food.
like we touched earlier, like people work hard for the money. They can go anywhere and get a burger, anywhere and get a Bud Light or any kind of beer. They chose to come here, so we have to give them that reason. Like, this is why you chose here.
Right.
And this is why you're coming back.
Yeah.
Right?
Tell us about being behind the bar and everything else that you do. I mean, how is that? And you know,
Well, they have some good, like, craft cocktails.
Yeah.
One
Oh, yeah.
that I discovered here was the peanut butter old fashioned. Peanut butter cup old fashioned that I've been trying to replicate at home.
I'll give you one tip. It's all about the kind of bitters you use.
The bitters.
That's the tip.
Okay.
So yeah, that particular drink was a collab between most of our staff. We heard that they had peanut butter whiskey coming out, and I was I don't know why I was skeptical, because I love peanut butter, I love chocolate. We have a chocolate old fashioned also.
Ooh.
We got it in, and I didn't know what to do, and then we all were kind of like, let's mix it with the chocolate whiskey, like the Reese's peanut butter cup, and mixing those two whiskeys together. The chocolate whiskey was way sweeter, so it kind of overpowered it.
Yeah.
And then it was just kind of like, what if we tried the chocolate bitters? So we started just doing different little takes on it, and finally we got to where it is now, and it's like, it tastes like you're eating a Reese's peanut butter cup.
But it's also smoked.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was the thing I didn't get right, because I got the screwball, I got the chocolate bitters. It's probably maybe a different chocolate bitters, but you know, the guy at ABC was kind of helping me, you know, figure it out. And I'm like, I go, they smoked it. He's like, well, how did they smoke it? They smoked the glass? Did they use a smoked bitter? I don't know. I was like, I don't know. I'm like, but it was like really good.
Like, I want it in bulk.
Yeah.
Oh my
So I had it
God.
again when I came here. What was it, a couple weeks ago? I think it was.
Yeah, when I
a
saw you.
networking event. Yeah. And I got it once again, obviously, because it's one of my favorite drinks. I mean, I went out and bought the ice ball maker and everything. You know,
Aww.
like that's how much I liked it.
Maybe you can get like a weekend job here or something.
Yeah, right?
Then you can learn all the recipes.
I had to sneak in.
Aww. Oh my
But
God.
it is good, and just like it's unique, obviously, because I haven't seen it anywhere else. I mean, I've seen the screwball like at other places, but I haven't seen that drink anywhere else. So just like the food thing, I guess on your end and with the other bartenders.
Yeah, a couple places have asked how to make it. I was like, I can't tell you like
Right.
the exact. I can't, man.
Can't give
Like,
your secret away.
yeah, we had a married couple regulars come in, and they became friends of mine. He was a contractor, and he actually helped me do all the stuff in the brewery. Like,
Wow.
he had all the tools, he had everything. Like, anything I needed, he helped me do. And that drink was her favorite drink. So for that, I helped her get. She made a little old-fashioned bar at home, and I told her everything to get, so she had it at home.
It's like part of their
See?
payment. Secret recipe.
You're inspiring people, you know, to do this at home, me included.
Yeah. Speaking of the brewery, tell us a little bit more about that. Is that going to be here or another location?
Yeah, so
or-
it's here now. It's
Okay.
out back. It's another part of the building we have. It's small, classified as a nano brewery, actually.
Okay.
It took about a year and a half, I would say, total process from initial concept, talking with them about it, to agreeing to terms, how we're going to do everything, getting
Right.
state paperwork, government, federal government
Yep.
paperwork, inspections, all that stuff. So it was a small system where it's one barrel, 31 gallons at a time.
Wow.
But it was a great starting place
Yeah.
because it proves concept. When we do expand in the future, I'll still retain that system for recipe design, because as
Yeah.
you scale up, you don't want, you have a 10 barrel system. 10 barrels of beer costs a good amount to make. So if it's
Right.
not a great recipe you came up with, now you're pouring that down the drain,
Now
it's a
you've got
waste.
all
So you
that
still make
beer.
smaller batches as tests and stuff like that. It really took off a lot faster than I thought it was going to.
Really? Oh, good.
It's I'm trying to think of the way to describe it. It's great. It's a great problem to have. It's flattering and like,
Yeah.
holy cow, this is awesome.
Good.
But at the same time, I hate not having product on tap. And people like it and they want to come get it, and then we don't have it. So I hate that part of it.
Yeah.
So we're working on. I've got 2 more tanks coming in that are bigger. We upgraded some stuff so we can handle production a little better. We're just going to keep rocking out this year with what we got, see what we can go from there, and then look to maybe expand in the future.
Wow, that's cool. So you can come here, sit down at the bar, and order like a Fat Rabbit Pub.
Yep. Yeah, we have
brewery beer.
2 on right now. We have our IPA and a Pilsner. So I just did a light beer. So anybody that drinks Miller Lite, that style beer, could approach it,
Yeah.
maybe dive into the craft side a little bit.
That is so cool. And do you repeat them? Or do you change it up every day? Or?
The IPA is the one that's probably going to be the flagship.
Yeah.
It's the biggest hit so far. That I want to have on tap all the time. I want to get to the point where we have 4 core beers on tap all the time that are always the same.
Yeah.
And then have 2 other taps that are kind of rotational, play around seasonal stuff.
That's cool.
So that, in the next year, I should be able to get to about that one.
Wow. Oh my gosh, that is so awesome.
Something dark, hopefully.
Yeah, we had a stout when we first launched. It was a pumpkin stout, just a hint of pumpkin in the background. It was a sweet milk stout. And I had a lot of requests for another stout to come back. So next couple weeks, I'll get another stout out there while we got our last little bit of winter in Florida.
Right.
Yeah, there you go. Got the shoes on.
Good, yeah, get it in there before the summer hits again.
Oh my gosh, awesome. So do you have a lot of regulars that come in here and order the same menu items? Do you see a lot of tourists in here?
We still see a lot of new faces. We're still growing, but we have an amazing regular base, like our customers.
That's awesome.
And I hate to use the word customer, they're our regulars, they're like part of the family. Like we all know their names, they know our names, we know what they drink, we know what they eat. And you know, you get to be a little bit more personal with some of them. So you know, it's like, oh hey, how was your kid's trip, or how was your family vacation? They'll say the same to you. So it's really cool. That's a cool aspect about this style restaurant bar versus a nightclub or a college bar that I used to work at. Like you actually get to know the people. You know, they're not just a customer for $1. Like you know, they become friends.
Yeah.
I mean,
they're not
like I
coming
said,
for a night out to party.
the customers, Pam and Eddie. I mean, we became close, and he was like, "Oh, anything you need, I'll help you out," and da da da. And it's like, make some real cool connections.
Yeah.
That's community.
Yeah, exactly what it is.
You know, that's what it is. Speaking of community, are you both like? Let's talk about where you're from and like how you ended up here in New Tampa. You know, just a brief history of.
Well, I'm from Atlanta, Georgia. Then we moved to Savannah when I was probably about 5. Spent about 10 years down there. Then my dad came to work for Gulfstream down here at McDill. Then, so I've been down here since I'm 15. Got my background cooking through my parents and my grandmother. So
That's cool. So Atlanta.
Are all your recipes from like your grandmother that you come up with?
some of the stuff, not per se. Like my family always did cook. That's what they've always done.
Yeah.
When they made a meal, they made it that night. It wasn't stuff that was like brought in or pizza and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But with my grandmother, I did a lot of cooking with her because I get home from school, since there's really never nothing in the house besides what they were making that night for dinner.
Yeah.
So her and I, we went through recipe book and just started playing around with stuff and all that. So my whole passion of cookies came from my grandmother.
That's amazing.
But like my dad, he's a northern, my mom's a southerner, so I have a cross between northern and southern style cooking. So that's why I'm really good with messing with meats, but also southern style. Like I'm great at doing that. Like I do a chicken and dumplings every once in a while here.
Ooh.
I do it and it's gone in a day. Like as soon as I post it on Facebook or Instagram, like it's gone. I make a 4-quart batch, it's gone by the end of the day. People go nuts over it because everything's from scratch. The dumplings from scratch. I do a whole chicken, peel it, cook it.
Wow.
So.
You're diversified though. That's good. You got a little bit of best of both worlds.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I know you're from New York.
Yep.
Are you the Yankees fan?
No.
Well, listen, this is the reason I wore my hat. I'm a huge Yankees fan, and in the bathroom they do have some Yankee stuff up there.
Yeah, that's
in the men's room anyway. I don't know. I haven't been in a ladies' room, so I can tell you.
Check it out.
I'd say both of our owners are big baseball fans, but Sean particularly is die-hard baseball, anything fan, loves the game. So we got a lot of baseball memorabilia in the bathroom. I am from upstate New York, Saratoga Springs.
Yep, my neck of the woods.
Yep. I moved down here when I was 5, and coincidentally enough, my dad worked for Ball Metal Container, which is the place that makes all the beer and soda cans for the world.
Oh.
And there's one over off Fowler behind Greco Sports Complex.
Oh.
So
Is it still there?
Ball, yeah, they're
Is that
global.
right?
They're global now.
Is that what inspired? What is this? Beer can day?
Oh, yeah, that's today's National Beer Can Day,
Yeah.
so we're running a special on that. But yeah, it's just funny that my dad made beer cans, sort of quality control, and I got into making beer.
Yeah, and
so,
now here you are years later.
and his friends come in here from Ball, and we talk about beer cans and all kind of crafting, like how everybody switched from bottles to cans. Multiple reasons. Hopefully everybody does it the same reason. I think it's better for the environment, they're recyclable. They're less shipping than glass. So the craft industry, everybody used to think bottled beer that's the premium,
Right.
but now it's actually worse
Really?
for beer. There's more oxygen ingress, light ingress, canned beer is second to keg. Those are the two best ways.
Wow.
So yeah, he worked there. We moved down here from upstate New York. Lived in Lutz, and I remember my parents only had one car when we moved down here because my mom was pregnant. She was the stay-at-home mom kind of at the time. And we would drive from Lutz to take him to work in the morning so she could take me to school. She had a car during the day. And so I remember when Bruce B. Downs was 2 lanes. There was nothing on it. There was no stores, no lights. It was pitch black
Wow.
driving out here. So I've been since '89. There was nothing out here.
Oh, I bet you.
Yeah.
It's just.
It's crazy.
Amazing.
It's crazy what it is now.
I wish we could all see what you can remember and then see what it is today, and the growth is just insane.
Lots of orange fields.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what it was out here, all the way into Lutz, Land Lakes. That's what it was.
Did it smell like oranges?
Yeah,
as you drove
yeah.
through? Oh, my
Especially
God.
like springtime, orange blossoms.
Oh my God.
Cool, if you gotta
That
go.
is
Yeah.
so cool.
You gotta go.
I didn't want to cut him off. Yeah, I've got to go.
Oh,
It was
thank you
just
so
a-
much.
nice meeting you.
It was
Thank you so much
nice
for
to meet
joining
you.
us.
Definitely.
Aw, gotta go.
Yeah, y'all about to see
Chicken
food
and
start coming out.
dumplings.
Like the donuts or the wings or
Yeah.
whatever it is.
Yeah, I wanted to mention too, the seafood here is amazing. Better than, I hate to say it, a lot of places in Tampa. It's always so fresh. I guess, do you know anything about that? How that
I
comes
know
in, or-
we have a couple different food vendors. I think he has one special for his fish items or seafood items, and a lot of it's local off the coast. I mean,
Yeah.
depending on the variety of fish, if it's something that's local to here. I know we had a sea bass one time. It was like out of this world good.
I bet.
And I'm not a huge sea bass fan, so I was like, yeah, I'll try. He makes really good food, and I was just like, what is this? How do you do this? This is so good.
Yeah.
So it goes back to, like I said, his recipes are fantastic. He makes great food. The freshness of the food is amazing.
Fresh is key.
God.
So, yeah.
Well, that's awesome. The owners of this did a great job, but they also did a great job hiring their staff because you're incredible. He's incredible.
thank you.
It's true. It takes a team, especially in this industry. So.
And I'd like to mention the brewery is pretty much it's yours, right?
No, we partnered up. So Sean and John own Fat Rabbit. I've worked with them kind of like Cole. I came in about a month before we opened our doors, and I've been brewing for 7 years. So that's my thing. Is I love brewing. I love beer. And I wanted to take it to that next level. I wanted to be able to create beer and sell it legally, to the public, be a real deal.
Like, this is strangling you.
Yeah, a little bit. And so I talked to them. They liked the idea. And it took a couple months of back and forth, like how we're gonna make it happen. And we came to agreement on what was fair. And they said, let's go. When do you want to start? I said, right now. So I started downloading all the applications for the state and.
Yeah.
It was a cool process because I learned so many things during the process. From the construction stuff that I'd learned, the only thing I didn't do was electrical because legally I couldn't.
Oh, no,
Right.
I used to be doing that.
Yeah. And it was a lot of running around back and forth, going downtown to the license office for like, today's the day, I'm gonna get it, and then it's like 4 more weeks, and then today's the day, and then so it took a while for that. Working with the federal government was not hard. There's a lot of redundancy on the applications and stuff, but I get it. It's got to go to different branches and how they form it off. But once I finally spoke to the agent that handled our case, it was a couple weeks after that point.
There you go.
His name was Steve Powers, if I remember correctly, and he was super cool. There's a lot of red tape and regulations with alcohol and stuff like that with the government. And some of it doesn't make sense. You're like, that's a silly law. But he was great in the sense that he had an answer for everything. He knew. If I'm like, well, what is this? Why? I don't get it. He was like, well, the reason for that is this, and he didn't have to look it up or get back to me. He was like, boom, right there in the phone, I got your
He knows
answer.
it like the back of his
So I was
hand.
like, I'm just going to do what this guy says because he knows what he's doing. We'll get this process
That's the
moving.
way to what I need. That's awesome.
So,
Wow.
about lightning round, we ready for that?
Oh yeah! All right.
This is where it gets fun.
Yes. All right.
Really fun.
Well, good. You've lived here for a long time, so hopefully you'll have some good answers.
Yep.
I mean,
Oh,
no
sure.
pressure or anything. All right. So here we go. North Tampa or South Tampa?
North Tampa.
Okay. St. Pete or Tampa? Oh.
I've lived in both. I lived in St. Pete for about a year at one point. I lived in Old Northeast, so right by
Okay.
downtown. I loved it down there. It was so pretty. You could walk. I lived on the Bayside, so it was like the beach, but I could walk by water, walk downtown. But I've been in Tampa pretty much my whole life. I lived in
Yeah.
California for 1 year,
Oh wow.
St. Pete for a year, but I've been in this immediate area for the majority of my life.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Yeah.
When I was in California, I wasn't like in San Diego or the beautiful. I was in the Central Valley just for work.
Yeah.
And it's like when I was like, oh, I'm moving to Cali, this is
Yeah.
great. And then I got there where I was living, and I was like, oh.
It's not what I expected.
And the price out there, it's just crazy expensive to live out there.
That.
And I was like, I miss Tampa, like really bad. So I came home. Yeah, I really couldn't see myself living anywhere else
Yeah.
until one day when I retire on the beach somewhere. Then maybe St.
yes.
Pete. Then maybe St.
That's everyone's goal is to live on the beach when they're retired.
Beach on the beach.
Yep.
Yes, beach on the beach. I love that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Let's do. All right. Besides yours, favorite craft beer in Tampa or anywhere, let's say. Besides your own, you can't say.
It's gotta be inspirations, right?
I'm so indecisive. It's so hard to pick a favorite anything.
Really?
Yeah, I can't.
Oh my
It's so hard for me to
God.
pick a favorite anything. But I
Okay.
would say,
Well, let me put it this way: Coppertail, Cigar City, or Big Storm.
I have friends at all of them, and I like all of them.
No.
But if I
They're all
had to,
great,
if
by
I
the
had to
way.
pick Tampa, I would probably say Angry Chair.
Angry Chair,
Yeah.
good one. That's a good one.
They
Okay.
make awesome beers. Their IPA is what kind of inspired mine.
Okay.
I wasn't an IPA drinker,
Yeah.
but going to start selling beer to the public and brewing beer, like IPA is a big selling beer, style of beer. And
Yeah.
I was like, well, I don't know anything about them because I've been brewing beer for 7 years at home for what I like,
Right.
not for what everybody else likes.
Yeah.
So me and my girlfriend, whenever we would go out to dinner or go out for drinks, I forced myself, my first drink was an IPA just to try to start trying different things to
Right.
see what they were about.
Yeah.
Now I like them, but I fell in love with Angry Chair Space Grass. It's
Space Grass is good.
It's it's not overly bitter. It's a New England IPA style. That's how I perceive it. I don't know if they have it labeled that way.
Yeah.
But it's got the hot bitterness to it, great aroma, great flavor, and you don't have that. It's not so bitter
that bitter taste.
So I started drinking that, and I was like, okay, if I can make something similar to this. It's not overly. But they make great sours, stouts, and there's 2 owners down there. One of their owners is Shane, and he actually helped me with a lot of my government paperwork. So aside from making great beer, they've been great friends to us since we opened, and then with the brewery part going on, he took time out of his day, came here to help me fill out some paperwork. And then any
awesome.
questions along the way, they've been amazing to
Those
us.
are the
So,
type of people
yeah.
you want around.
So,
That's
friends in
awesome.
high
Well, we'll make
places.
sure we
Yeah.
give them a shout out. What is it called again? Another beer.
Angry Chair Brewing. They're down in Seminole
Angry
Heights.
Chair. Okay. Angry Chair Brewery.
Angry Chair, Space
Oh my
Grass.
gosh.
That's good. What about your go-to beer? Like you're out of state, you're somewhere, where the hell you are?
I don't know.
You just like pick.
I-
like this sounds interesting. That's kind of how I do it. I'm like.
I've been drinking a lot of sours lately. I
Okay.
like sour beers. I like sour candies, like sour fruit candies.
Ooh.
So a lot of the sour Berliner Weiss style beers are that. They're fruit flavored. They've got candy flavored ones. So
Ooh.
sour. They're good beers, usually lower in alcohol, so you can drink a couple of them and then not be.
Like on the
So you're
floor.
not afraid to try like the local craft.
Oh yeah, I'll try. I love beer as a whole. So I
Well,
will.
me too.
Oh my god. Okay, let me do one more about the Fat Rabbit Pub, and then I'm gonna do General Tampa. What is your favorite menu item here? Oh my god. You
The
are
favorites.
indecisive.
So as of recently, that's the best way I can do it because it changes. I used to not like blue cheese, or thought I did.
Oh.
And we have our buffalo chicken sandwich with the blue cheese variation, the black and blue chicken sandwich. And I messed up a food order one day for somebody, and it was totally my fault. And I'm like, so sorry. So I told them in the kitchen, I hate wasting food. I was like, just keep it back there. I'll use it for my half off employee meal. And we were super busy, and I saw I wasn't gonna get to order food or eat anyway. So I'm like, I'm just gonna eat this thing. I hate blue cheese, but whatever. And I took a giant bite, and it was another one of those. Okay, apparently I like blue cheese a lot because this is really, really good. So it might just be the way he makes his sandwiches, and maybe it's partial to him, but that's my favorite item on the menu right now.
Awesome. What a story, too. Okay, so, all right, besides Fat Rabbit Pub, favorite steak in Tampa?
Steak, Charlie's.
Charlie. Oh, we get a lot of
Yeah,
Charlie's.
we do get a lot of
That's
Okay, favorite pizza in Tampa?
wood fired at the corner of Barris and Brisby Downs.
They are good. I had them. They're very good.
Are they? Oh, I have to try that one.
Yeah, the owner, Peter, he's a super good guy. This guy, the food's great all the time. They take really good care of us when we go in there. That's me and wifey's. That's our date spot. We'll go because they go. Let's have a split a pizza, salad, and a glass of wine or two, and call it a night.
That's a perfect date night. Oh my gosh. Favorite dessert in Tampa?
I don't think he eats dessert.
I don't eat a lot. No, don't get me wrong. I have my days. Like I have a sweet tooth. I just try to keep it hidden back there so I don't eat too many.
I know it's hard because you like sour stuff, you said.
But I like sweets too. Though.
Oh, you
I
do?
I just like I try to keep that at bay.
Yeah.
Because I'd be sugared up
You
all the
try not
time.
to indulge too much. Any ice cream shops or like a bakery or
I can't remember the name of it or how to pronounce it. It's at the corner of Barris and Florida.
okay.
It's a Puerto Rican bakery. It's something Bahia.
Ooh,
And they have some really good pastries because we went. My girlfriend's Colombian, so we'll try different Spanish variation stuff.
awesome.
And one of her clients brought her. She owns a hair salon down the road, and they brought her a pastry. And she was like, "Babe, you got to try this. Get it away from me. I can't eat it. It's too fattening."
Oh my god.
So I tried it, and it was really good. She said, "We'll have to go there and get breakfast." So we went there this past Sunday and got them. It's like a little twist pastry with like a cheese filling. They're so good.
Really? I gotta try that.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'll find it and I'll make sure
Okay.
we tag them.
Yeah, I'll try to find them too. And I'll send you
Yeah,
the link.
I'll find it. Well, just Google Maps. That's all we
Yeah.
need. Okay. All right. Last one. Favorite podcast in Tampa.
This is Tampa Podcast.
Hey, of course.
That's the right answer.
Is there another one?
Oh my god. I don't know. There might be.
You forgot the sports one.
Oh yeah, Bucks, Lightning, or Rays. Well, now you're taking a sip of water. Give you a minute to think.
I'm not a huge hockey fan. I was actually just talking with Sean, our owner, last night. I love baseball. I'm not the guy that knows every stat or every player's name, but I love the game of baseball. And after doing nightclubs and high-volume college bars, every time I'm at work, it's 100 miles an hour 100% of the time.
Yeah.
So when it's my downtime, I love watching baseball. It's relaxed. It's a little slower pace. You don't have to catch every second of it and not know what's going on. I cheer for the Bucks and Lightning. Obviously, they're Tampa teams. Our home teams. You got to cheer for your home teams.
Yeah.
But I'm a Rays fan through and through.
Aw.
Whether they're good or bad, I love the Rays.
Aw.
Yeah, well, listen, they do a lot with the budget they have.
Yeah.
You know, considering what they're up against,
And
Boston,
the league they're in,
Yankees,
the division
some,
they're in.
Some real high salaried places.
Yeah.
They do really well considering.
No, they're a great team. Like you said, the division they're in makes all. If they were in another division, they'd be pulling first place in the division, no problem.
Oh, okay. Okay. Got it now.
Yeah.
I don't follow sports.
Yeah, that's really the only one I follow is baseball.
Okay.
In case you didn't know that already.
Rays. Shout out to the Rays.
Jen's gonna learn. Jen's
I
gonna
will learn
learn.
eventually.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. Well, thank you, Beach. I appreciate you kind of filling us in about the history of the Fat Rabbit Pub and everything you're doing here. And
Thanks for having us on. I appreciate it. I can say from all of us extend, we appreciate it very much.
well, we
Well, we're
appreciate
happy
you
to be
being
here.
here in New Tampa. There's not a lot of choices.
This is one of my
when it
favorite
comes to small
places.
business,
Yeah.
We're not going anywhere. We're
My
here.
favorite neighborhood
Good.
pub. So
Yay.
you know you got me.
Awesome. So, what do you have here for us today for our non-Florida man story, Rob?
Well, I don't know how
Interesting.
familiar you are with the non-Florida man, but you're obviously familiar with Florida man.
Yeah.
Everybody hears
Yeah.
about Florida man. Florida man, Florida man, Florida man. It's always Florida man. Well, our take is there are people like that, crazies all over the place. Right? So why not put the spotlight off of Tampa and on somewhere else?
I like it.
So that's a non-Florida man. Okay? So these are Florida man-like stories from somewhere else. And we'd like to get your reaction. That's why you don't know about it.
All right.
Okay? And I'm sure Jen's going to have a lot to say about this one.
Oh yeah, this looks disgusting. Looks like something my
So-
5-year-old's found.
Yeah. The headline is Massachusetts serial pooper arrested after police catch her defecating in parking lot.
Disgusting.
All right?
Gross.
Now here's the whole thing. A Massachusetts woman accused of defecating in a parking lot of a local Natick Massachusetts, I guess, store for months was arrested for months. Wednesday after she was caught in the act. I won't say her name. She's a 51-year-old that was charged with 8 counts of wanton destruction property after the police said that he saw her defecating outside the store. Now, apparently the store owner has been complaining and making reports since October about finding human defecation in his parking lot, human feces.
So disgusting.
Now you would think,
Why?
okay, well maybe it's a homeless person or something like
Yeah.
that. Well, it says an officer was patrolling the parking lot on Wednesday when he spotted the lady's name, waiting for a lot to clear, opening the driver's side door of her Lincoln MKX.
So
And
she
defecating
wasn't
out
she
the
wasn't
door.
hard up. She wasn't
Right,
she
she wasn't
wasn't living
hard
on the
up.
streets or
That wasn't the scenario
No.
we were all thinking.
In
No.
at
fact, she worked as a nanny. She complained and said that she had done it because she had irritable bowel syndrome, but she had access to a restroom. So I don't know what was going on or what she had against these people.
maybe she had some kind of grudge against the store,
Right.
or maybe a little bit more wrong with it than just a grudge, because that's a little.
I know. That's
Yeah, it's
interesting.
like, yeah,
I mean,
you're-
just go. I don't know why. I don't understand why.
If I was ever
Wow.
mad at somebody, that'd probably be one of the last things I ever thought of. To like, oh, listen, I'm gonna get them back.
Yeah.
Well, we can say that the owner of the store is very happy that this was resolved.
Yeah.
And she was put behind bars, and hopefully, that's something of the past.
good. Yes.
And
That's just disgusting. What state is this in? Massachusetts.
Massachusetts. So
All
this
right,
is
well, sorry,
Massachusetts woman. And it's cold in December in Massachusetts, so
Yeah,
she really had something out for this guy.
Things I remember from being up north, and even after I moved away, is I usually don't want to leave the house when it's the wintertime, let alone
Right.
be exposed
Yeah.
outside.
Definitely
Sensitive
not go to
parts
the
of the
bathroom
body
outside.
Right. Oh my God. So gross. Well, thanks, Rob, for finding that very
Yeah.
disgusting story. Sorry, Massachusetts.
Well,
Get your act together, I guess.
Hey.
Another
Yeah.
non-Florida man. Hey, at least it wasn't Florida. That's all we care about.
Yep, that's right. Was in
Oh,
Florida,
my
so there's some
goodness.
messed up people somewhere else.
So let's jump into our main topic today, which is small businesses in Tampa. Here we are at a small business in Tampa. Tampa is growing so quickly, so fast. I know today I just shared some information. The job growth here is double of the national job growth numbers.
Right.
So there's a lot of opportunities here.
And
If
you're
you-
experiencing it right now
Yeah.
by
Right. Exactly.
starting a business with the brewery, and this is fairly new still, Fat Rabbit. So you know some of the challenges and some of the benefits of being in Tampa and starting a business in Tampa. So we figured. Well, I learned a new thing, a new word. There is a such word as Tampa. What is it? Tampreneurs.
Oh, I like it.
Tampreneurs. Yeah. So you're
I
an
love
entrepreneur from Tampa.
Tampreneur.
Tampreneurs. Yeah, I guess that's how you say it. Tampreneurs. So
All right, well, tell us about the Tampreneurs.
no, this was actually just a story from TampaBayIsAwesome.com
I
about
like the
the
website.
3 things that Tampreneurs should know. One of them is choosing a company legal structure, which that was one of the first things you did.
Yeah.
And
Yep.
creating because it is a separate entity, right? This and that and
We're under the same LLC.
okay.
We got
same
2
LLC.
DBAs, and we have it split up internally, structure-wise.
Right, and some people would choose to set up, 2 different LLCs to kind of keep them separate, or have like a.
Yeah, when you get into dealing with alcohol and food,
I can't imagine.
starting separately, it was just a lot more money.
Right.
Just legal fees, licensing fees. Our brewery license is considered a child license off our parent liquor license restaurant here. So it was a difference of $4,500
That makes
for the
sense.
license. So yeah,
It's
so we
worth it
partnered up
just,
together,
yeah.
and down the road, whichever direction we all decide to go, that we can make changes and stuff as we go.
Yeah.
But for now,
The initial
the initial
investment.
the proof of concept, there was no reason to spend $100,000.
No.
It was like, let's do this what we got, let's make it, prove it, make some good beers, make the demand there, and then we'll figure out how to do that kind of stuff.
But some businesses, it might make sense to do it the other way.
Yeah.
Especially if there's not an alcohol license involved, it may be just for liability reasons and tax reasons.
Right.
Registering your business, obviously.
Yeah, you got to register with the state. You got to register with the government, the IRS. I can't even imagine with alcohol and the licenses that involves. That's a whole nother.
Yeah, it's a little different than like just opening a bar, because we're not just selling alcohol, we're creating alcohol. So it's a highly regulated part of the government. But it just took a little time. But like I said, when I talked to the guy, it's pretty painless going around. So
Good. That's awesome.
Obviously, assessing the financial, your tax requirements, any of the insurances that you might need.
Right.
Did you need separate insurance?
we didn't get separate. But we had to inform the insurance company. That's where like my blessing is Sean and John, because they're so great with numbers, and they've been businessmen forever, so they know the ins and outs of that kind of stuff.
And that's important. It's important to have like those kind of connections.
Yeah.
Do you ever go out and like network, like go to any of the business networks or anything like that?
As of recently, I'm not really able to, just because I'm back there and I'm in here. So my day off is Sunday.
You're like me. You need to clone yourself,
Yeah.
or like John too. Like we need to like a cloning machine, and that way
my-
we can kind of be in two
My
places
one
at once.
full day off is Sunday. Like I don't bartend Mondays or Wednesdays, but I'm here. Like I was here all day yesterday. I was here all day on Monday. So it's nice. I'm fine with that. Working during the daytime is great. Like I get the night off, so it's like not every night of the week.
Good.
But
You need
generally,
that
I'm pretty.
downtime. I think that's one thing that people who haven't started their own small business don't realize is your job really never ends. Even when you're at home, you're still going. You know, it's a
Sometimes
big
you just
commitment.
even just thinking about things like those moments you do have alone. You're thinking.
Yeah, your brain's still
you're
going.
Getting, like creative, especially if you're a creative mind. You're probably thinking about like what kind of beers you'd like to brew. Like, in
next
the
recipe
future,
design.
Thinking about
And everything is temperature regulated out there for the beer. Beer has to be a certain temperature for a certain style of beer when it ferments and stuff like that. So everything's glycol controlled.
Yeah.
But I've got an app. I can do it all from my phone. I can change the temperature.
That's
But it's
awesome.
constantly. I've got alarms set. I'm constantly checking
Oh
stuff.
my God.
Because if the room's insulated, I got a little AC unit out there to keep the room cooler. And everybody's like, "Oh, that's so cool! Your brew room has AC." And I'm like, "It's not for me. It's for the beer.
It's for the beer,
It's literally to
yeah.
help that system keep the
Stay
beer because it
cool.
gets so hot. I mean,
I
Yeah.
bet,
before I had AC out there when I was doing the building, it was like 105, 106 in
Oh
that
my
room
God.
because it was just stagnant, no
Yeah, no air.
Remember
movement.
at Big Storm, they had the same thing when they were starting out. The same exact thing.
So
where people were just burning up inside there.
Oh, I don't remember him saying that. That's
Yeah.
interesting. You recall that.
Yeah,
Huh.
I remember that. He had
Guess
the
it's a
burners. He
trend.
had like an old system or
Oh,
whatever.
he's probably
where
doing
they're
gas
boiling
fire.
it. Yeah.
Wow.
And it was like really, really hot. That's one thing I really remember.
Oh my gosh.
But yeah, that's cool that you can do it right from your phone. But you're probably checking on it, like you said.
Oh,
when
yeah,
you're
I-
home,
I've
you're
got
always
kind of
working.
a routine. Like I'll check it before I leave, and then before I actually go to bed, I check it one more time.
You check it while you're in bed.
Just because you never know. Did the power go out? Did something happen?
I mean, what would happen if you checked it like you're so tired you're about to go to sleep and then you realize something's wrong? Would you get up?
Get up and leave.
Yeah.
I've done that already. Like we had second batch of beer I brewed here. I think second or first batch legally when we got our paperwork because I had the system at home. I was doing test batches at home. I was here till about 4 in the morning.
Wow.
I was chilling everything down to go into the fermenter, pitch the yeast, and the power went out. And I was like,
no.
really? Like, why?
Yeah.
But I just did the best I could. I sealed everything up. I went home. I checked the website for the power company. It said expected to be 6:45. So I set an alarm for 7. I went home. I took like an hour and a half nap.
Oh my
Got up,
God.
came back, finished. It was just, it's part of the process. You have to do certain things.
There you go, small business owner.
I'd be like a fireman, man. You gotta have your shoes
You're
by
ready
the
to go,
door
yeah.
and like ready to jump in them and
That's about all I did. I took my shoes off and just laid across the bed and was like, take a quick nap, up and come
That's
back.
dedication right there.
It's all for the beer.
Yes.
That's right.
Gotta keep that
I would do
beer
it for the
cool.
beer.
I love it. Man.
So yeah, so some of the challenges, obviously that's one of them. Especially starting out, you don't really have like a lot of people that are working for you. You're kind of doing everything on your own. You're doing your own social media, your own marketing,
Yeah.
and I'm sure you really, you haven't gotten to that point yet because there's so much demand here inside the restaurant. But once you scale, then you're going to be, doing a lot of that, trying to promote the products and
Yeah. Eventually, when we scale up to the next size system, it'll either be a 5 or a 7 barrel. Within next year or so, hopefully that's the point we get to. And I do want to get into some small local distribution. I'm not looking to be the next Bud Light or anything like that. Like, I mean, you can make pretty decent money making beer, and it's just something I love. If I get up every day and love what I do, it's not work.
Right.
it's a passion project.
Yeah, and
Exactly.
the whole concept from doing it, distribution for here for me is, Sean and John started Fat Rabbit. We did the beer together, but we're also it's one LLC. We're one company. We
Right.
have the kitchen, the bar, the floor. Like, we all have to work together to make it successful and be what it is now.
Yep.
So my dream of distribution isn't just like, I want the beer to go out there, because when somebody sees that tap handle in another bar or restaurant, or for can it instead of Publix or a liquor store, they see Fat Rabbit also. It's not just the beer, it's Fat Rabbit.
Right.
So now those people will come here to get a beer maybe at the brewery, but at the same time they're going to get a burger, or they're going to get food items, and they, they'll have a great time, and hopefully they'll be like, oh, well, it's my new place.
What's one thing I would say for sure is like the branding, like they got that down. I don't know if you came up with the beer tap or not, or even just the coasters, but the branding is exceptional.
So that's where Sean and John again come into play. Like I said, John works for Iron Man, Sean works for EY. They handle a lot of big corporations merging and stuff like that. So it's all brand heavy, and that's the thing, is always respect the brand, promote the brand. And the guy that does the artwork, it's an online firm or company that Sean uses, and he's done all of our stuff since day one. So our logo for the bar, for the brewery, each beer logo, anything we have that has that rabbit on it is
And it's
one
one
guy
of the
does it.
coolest beer
That's
taps I
perfect.
think I've ever seen. I
Yeah.
mean, that beer tap is pretty badass.
Well, I've got some friends in the metal industry, motorcycles and custom metal fabrication, and I was like, I didn't know what to do for a tap. I was thinking about 3D ones, but I started looking at the pricing. And I'm like, okay, it's like $5,000 for somebody to do the 3D modeling. Then you got to get the taps. I'm like, yeah, that's not happening yet. Maybe down the road.
Oh, yeah.
So I was like, the metal sign behind the bar that's got the rabbit cut out of it, and I was like, well, what if I take the positive image of that and taking my guy's laser jet, their table jet? So he cut it out and we put some posts on it. We're still tweaking them a little bit.
That's cool,
But
man. I
it's
like
gonna
it.
it's gonna stay the rabbit and the glass as the tap. We're just probably gonna put a little bit longer of a handle for a pull on it.
That is so cute.
And that's the thing. It's like Coke or Pepsi. You see,
Same
or
thing,
Nike. You see the
consistency,
swoosh.
yeah.
You know what it is.
You know what it
so
is,
getting
yeah.
that tap handle in other locations eventually,
Yeah.
and at
Oh
least in
my
Tampa
gosh,
Bay area,
you're
people will know what it is, and
Right.
it'll drive people into the business here.
Exactly. So there's another important small business aspect that people don't think about.
branding.
Is you need to brand
Yeah.
and you need to carry it through.
Yeah,
So-
and branding's not often something that you see immediate ROI on. It's more of a long game
Yeah.
thing because it does take a while to brand and build
Right.
that brand. But once you do, and you do it successfully, it's good.
Yeah.
Like you said, you'd be recognized at other on other taps.
That's like you see a Bud Light, or you see, certain tap handles are distinctive. You see it, you know what it is.
Right.
Then that's, like I said, I don't ever expect to be a giant in the beer world, but
Yeah.
if in Tampa, our local community, if people see our tap and they know what it is, like that'll be more than enough for me.
Yeah, that's all you need. Wow. Well, that's so cool. We could go on about this topic for hours, honestly, I think. But
Well, yeah.
I know you guys are starting to get busy. You all can probably hear the crowd starting to trickle in. So let's go on to. I know Rob, we've got a little trivia game set up here. We got Rob's
So we
creative
always like to do
juices.
something a little different with every guest, something fun that we do, and now we can get maybe our viewers involved by offering a $25 gift card to Fat Rabbit. And here's how it's going to work. So basically, Beach has a unique name. Okay, Beach obviously is pretty unique, and he's going to give four answers to how he came about the name of Beach. And if you know the answer, if you can guess the answer correctly, and you tag the Fat Rabbit, what is it?
Fat Rabbit Pub at Fat Rabbit.
At Fat Rabbit Pub on Facebook.
Yeah, Facebook it's at Fat Rabbit Pub. On Instagram it's the Fat Rabbit Pub.
Okay.
All right, we'll make sure we link it too.
Yeah, at Fat Rabbit Pub. Jen will do all the links. That's what she's good at. And also tag This Is Tampa Podcast, obviously. That's Facebook / This Is Tampa.
Podcast. Oh.
I think it's just
we
This Is
don't
Tampa,
know
right?
either.
Yeah. So it's just
We'll
This
link
Is Tampa.
everything.
So yeah.
All right, so what are our examples here?
Yeah, what's the...
Our 4 choices. Do you have 4 or you want to do 3?
We can do 3.
All right, let's do
3? All right.
So you have to, number
3
one,
opportunities
you have
to get it
guess
right.
the right
Yeah,
answer.
33%
you have to
chance.
tag Fat Rabbit, Instagram and Facebook, and This Is Tampa Podcast.
Right.
Instagram, Facebook. All right.
Yeah, because he's got to see it, we got to see it. Otherwise, it don't count.
All right.
So
This is again for $25 gift card.
Yes.
I was either made on the beach,
Oh.
I received it from my name from a band, or I got it at my first bar job.
Ooh.
Your first bar job?
Okay.
Somebody just nicknamed you that?
Yeah.
So, let me go over it again. A, conceived on the beach.
Made
Okay.
sounds so much more
Made
politer.
so much
Conceived, made, well, or whatever. Okay, you made. A stork brought you. Whatever, however, whatever you believe.
The stork. Let's go with
Yeah.
the stork.
The stork brought him from the beach, or to the beach, I don't know. You were in a band, a rock band, or you were named it from fellow coworkers behind the bar
All right.
because you go
Yeah,
to the beach.
yeah.
So make sure you share your answer, tag both of us, and we'll select one winner.
Yeah, this
from
is
everyone who
legit.
does that to win a $25 gift card to the Fat Rabbit Pub, and you are not going to want to miss this if you haven't been
Yep.
yet.
$25.
It's delicious, so
Fat Rabbit.
awesome.
All right, Beach. Well, thank you for joining us today, coming on the podcast with us.
Thank you guys very much.
so
Appreciate it very
Awesome
much.
having you.
Yes.
It's pretty exciting hearing about the future. I like to see where the craft beer goes, and
Yeah, as a
What's
whole,
in
we're
store?
constantly working on how to make stuff better or improve or innovate. So we got a bunch of stuff coming in this year.
awesome,
Yeah,
awesome,
we're
and,
excited
and
to try
they
it
got
all.
new menu coming out. So if you guys are in the New Tampa area, come in, check it out, say hi to Beach. He's always here, except Sundays, obviously. We know that. Well, for now.
Okay.
For now, he's
For
not
now.
here on Sundays.
Aw.
But yeah, say hi to Beach. It's
Beach
real
at the
friendly,
bar.
yeah. Friendly area. Lots
Great
of good
food.
stuff. Yeah, visually pleasing.
Yeah. Well, thank you, Beach. Thank you to the Fat Rabbit Pub for having us. And make sure
This
y'all
is
come on
awesome.
down and have a great weekend. Thanks for
I
listening.
think I'm gonna get
and
some
thanks
wings.
for watching. Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Bye.
All right, bye.
Bye.